Okay, let's do problem number 9. So number 9 wants us to solve by quadratic equation. So I've got negative 10x plus 3 equals 0. Okay? And we're going to use a quadratic formula. So now remember, for the quadratic formula, what we need is we need a times x squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. And if that's the case, we get x is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay? That's how that works. So I've got to make sure of a couple of things. One, I've got to make sure first off the bat that it looks like this, that it's set equal to 0 with all the other terms on the other side of the equal sign. Well, it is. And so a is equal to 1 because even though we don't write it down, we have 1x squared. Right? B is equal to the coefficient of the x term, which is negative 10. And then C is equal to positive 3. Now if we were trying to factor this, you would see that 3 is a prime number, right? So if I multiply 3 times 1, that's the only way I can get 3, but I can't add 3 and 1 to get negative 10. So I can't factor this. So when you can't factor something, you're stuck doing the quadratic formula. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say that x is equal to negative b, which is negative 10, okay, plus or minus the square root of b squared, which is negative 10 squared, minus 4ac. So I'm going to say 4 times 1 times 3. All over 2 times a, which is 1. Well, that gives me x is equal to positive 10 plus or minus negative 10 squared is 100 minus 12 all over 2. How are we doing so far? So then what is 100 minus 12? 88, right? All over 2. Let's think of a perfect square that goes into 88. What two numbers can I multiply to get 88? Where one of them is a perfect square. So what I want to do is I want to think 2 squared equals 4. 3 squared equals 9. 4 squared equals 16. Well, 4 goes into 88, doesn't it? How many times? 22. So I could rewrite this as x equals 10 plus or minus the square root of 4 times the square root of 22. Now 22 is, what's the prime factorization of 22? Yeah, so, and those are both prime, right? That's what prime factorization means. So I can't break this down any further. So we're stuck with that square root of 22 is what I'm saying. All over 2. How are we doing so far? Okay. So now I've got x is equal to 10 plus or minus, what's the square root of 4? 2. Square root of 22 all over 2. Now I could write this differently. I could write this as x is equal to 10 over 2 plus or minus 2 root 22 all over 2. What does that reduce down to? 5. 10 divided by 2 is 5. What happens with my 2's on the next term? 2 divided by 2 is 1 over 1. 1 times the square root of 22 is square root of 22. And it's square root of 22 over 1. Do I need to write the 1? No. So it's 5 plus or minus 22. Let's see if that's one of our options. 5 plus or minus 22. That's it, right? A? That's it, right? Yep, A is the answer. Good.